Dillon, it's just, a conversation,
Yeah.
so a chance for you to tell your story,
Yeah.
Where were you born, Dillon?
Here in Washington State,
Oh, yeah.
up north of here, about 2 hours from Seattle, in a small town, 15 minutes out of Concrete, Washington, called Birdsview.
Okay.
I was basically raised there, spent my whole life there up until recently. I've been here about 2.5 months now in Seattle, homeless.
Tell me about your home life. Were you raised with mom and dad?
Spoiled. My dad would come by. They weren't together, but he would come by, a couple times a month, take me fishing, hunting, over to Eastern Washington, do the same shit.
Yeah.
And other places.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have brothers or sisters you grew up with?
Yes, I had one brother,
Oh, gotcha. And
Derek.
what did you guys do for fun when you were kids?
Basically, he just beat me up most of the time, Tried to tag along with him and his friends to do stuff. And
Oh, he was older brother.
yeah.
You guys get along?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys get along now?
Yes, we do.
Oh, nice. And you went to school, high school, and
Yeah, I went to school till the 9th grade, and then I dropped out.
tell me about that. What happened?
It just became too much. I have learning disabilities. I was the fastest kid in school, like racing or on foot, athletically. But I was the slow kid in school too. So hey,
Yeah, school's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. Well, when you dropped out, what'd you do?
I basically did odd jobs, carpentry, masonry, just about every trick of the trade.
The
Trying
trades.
to pick it up as I went along, learning to make $1 here and there.
Yeah. Well, you're in 9th grade. I think, what are you, 15, maybe? 16?
Yeah.
So then you just went to the trades and started working, or learning the trades.
Yeah, about 15 and a half, 16.
And was there one particular trade you stuck to and learned?
Basically just all of them.
Yeah.
Landscaping a lot more,
Gotcha.
more so than any other, but yeah.
Gotcha. And you were living at home at this time?
Yes, with my mother.
And what type of job did you have?
Basically, under the table, just scratch and get any kind of, every penny I could get together to make any kind of money at all, just to get by.
Yeah. And so you were living with, it sounds like just your mom.
Yes, my mom.
Gotcha. And your brother was there as well?
No, he got older. Once he turned 18, he moved out.
Gotcha.
We moved in with our great grandma. He stayed there for a couple years, and then he moved out of there, and he basically got an apartment with a friend.
Gotcha.
And then, he got a girlfriend, and things got serious, and he got a place of his own, and now he's got 2 daughters and a wife, and he's reformed.
Okay. And when did you move out?
I was kicked out of my mom's house at 16, 17, and I lived with my great grandma till, I don't know, early 20s, 21, 22.
Okay.
And then I kind of lived with my dad, and then back with my mom. And then my mom's house burned down, and me and her basically lived in her car for the past couple of years. And I got a DWI for the second time, went to jail for it, and while I was in jail, my mom OD'd on heroin up in Concrete, Washington, in front of Loggers Landing, in the parking lot. In her
What year
car.
was this? What year was this?
2 years ago.
Oh, just 2 years ago?
Yes.
Damn.
Very
Sorry
recent.
for that.
Yeah.
And so after that, your mom passed. What'd you do?
I got out of jail. I lived with my dad for a little while, and he was given 6 months to live with prostate cancer, and it's 10 years from then. He's still alive. He's over in Eastern Washington right now. I was staying with him, but the cancer and stuff. He wanted to go over to Eastern Washington and live with his brother. Live out the last bit of his life over there with him. So I was here kind of like with nobody other than friends. And
Gotcha.
one day I just I got sick of my living situation, what I was doing every day, waking up, same people, same scenario. And basically I was just taking drugs and I was doing it, the same thing over and over and over. I woke up one day and I don't know if it's an epiphany or a fucking paranoia or something got into me. I got on the bicycle. I didn't pack a bag, nothing. I had the clothes on my back. I got on a bicycle and I started pedaling my ass out of town.
From Eastern Washington?
No, from Cedar Woolley, Washington.
Okay.
Cedar Woolley. I was staying in Cedar Woolley at a friend's. Basically, I got on the bicycle and I rode here.
And you just kept going? So
Rode till I couldn't ride anymore, and I just got off the bike and started hitchhiking on the freeway.
And so, how long ago was that?
2.5 months ago.
And so, is this the first time you've experienced something like that where you have not had a home?
Yeah.
I mean, you were living with your mom in the car.
Yeah.
It's kind of. But now you're in a tent.
Yeah. I don't do the tent thing very often. I just did it this one time. I basically get a tarp or a blanket, depending on the weather, and I just throw that over me, and wherever the fuck I am, I just...
You're outside.
Yeah.
And what are your coping mechanisms? What do you like to do to cope?
With reality, when I'm stressed out, or just...
However you want to answer
that. I tend to lose grip with reality, but that's my mental conditions too. I have bipolar, schizophrenia, and I actually had a doctor in Mount Vernon, Nikki Maynard. I was going to her and I was getting medications, and without them, I do actually lose grip with reality. I'm no longer me, or I am me, but the world's not what it is, And in the 2.5 months that I've been here with no medication, I've did that a few times. But I don't know, music. I do that to try and and then drugs. That or other people, and just talking to them, and
Somebody told me, another young lady told me, she doesn't do drugs. She does drugs to quiet the voices.
Yeah.
Is that something that you can relate with?
Yes. I self-medicate all the time because I don't have medications from a doctor that I need. So yeah, very much so. Some people, it makes it worse.
Really?
Like methamphetamine. That's generally a drug that I hear a lot of people take, and the ones that have schizophrenia like me, that hear voices, it makes it far worse.
Oh, really?
For them.
And which drug kind of balances you out?
For me, it's opiates. So I've been taking painkillers like Vicodin and methadone since I was 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
2 questions. I guess the first one was, when did you get diagnosed with schizophrenia? How did that come about?
I was really late in the game at that because I didn't really have any help, and I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was something wrong with me. And a lot of people had always said that, but nobody, really pinpointed exactly what it was. And I figured it out because I was hearing voices and seeing people that weren't there, like ghosts and shit.
So you were aware, voices were there.
Yes.
The reality was this is something's off here.
Yeah.
Wow. How old are you?
I didn't get help for it and diagnosed with it till I was 26.
How old are you now?
31.
Okay. Wow. That's late.
And I started hearing voices at 15.
Oh, so you were living with that
17.
for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
And how are you coping then at 15, 16?
I wasn't.
Right.
I was a problem child.
Gotcha.
I acted out. Did all kinds of bad shit. I wasn't. No.
Yeah. Makes sense. Question number 2. How did you get introduced to those drugs?
My mom had Vicodin and methadone in her purse. So I started taking pills from her out of her purse, stealing them. And a broken arm, I'd get Vicodin from the doctor. And eventually my mom found out about it, and she would let me have one every now and then,
Right.
you know, if she saw I was stressed out. Or if I asked for one, because, you know, if I steal them, I'm just going to steal them. So she might as well just give me one instead of me taking all of her pills.
Yeah.
In about 17, I started using heroin instead of painkillers, but I was still taking painkillers. And methamphetamine and all that came along over the years. And basically, now it's the blues and the fentanyl. That it's been like that for, I want to say, like the past 2.5, 3 years.
And so you were growing up just trying to like stabilize yourself.
Yes.
'Cause you knew something was happening, just trying to cope with what is happening.
Yes.
And when you finally got diagnosed at 26 by a doctor, what was that like? Was it like relief? Was it like, fuck, it makes sense now?
It was nice to know somebody actually gave a fuck, and somebody was there that actually knows about it, you know, that understands it.
Right.
A doctor that has went to school for it,
Right.
you know, that knows it's real and it's not an
Right.
act, and
Right.
they can diagnose it and give me medications to help wind me and stabilize me. And,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
what was
melt
that
me.
like when you started taking the medication? Was it like the voices quieted and?
At first, it was kind of stop and go,
Okay.
but yeah, eventually we found some medications that work. Me and my doctor,
Oh, right, because you got to try several medications. Like that.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
and we got the dosage right,
Uh-huh.
and you know it's good when I get that going. I actually had a job.
Right on.
I was working at stocking shelves and different stuff like that. Because you know I have ADHD, so it's hard for me to concentrate. But my thing was I would forget to go to the doctors, or I wouldn't have a damn ride because I was so far out towards concrete that I couldn't get a ride to Mount Vernon to be able to see the doctor to get
Right.
my prescription refilled.
Right.
So that kind of happened every once in a while, and shit would fall through again, and then you
You'd
know,
be off the meds.
yeah,
and
and I'd have to self-medicate again
then
and
do something different, right?
go out there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So when you rode from Cedar Woolley, did you have your meds then?
No.
Or was it kind of a, I don't know what you call it, like episode or something where you're like, I just gotta go and get on the bike?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know if it's, I don't know what I would call it. You know, there's a lot of names for it, but basically I woke up and it wasn't really like an episode like I was seeing people and I was scared or anything like that. It was just, I was sick of the day-to-day routine,
Yeah.
repeating.
Yeah, you're just feeling,
Because there's so much weight on me, and there's so many bad things being done to me, and with the voices and everything, and I wanted to run away and escape it.
yeah, bad things being done to you?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Oh, the voices, it's torture, man.
Can you give me an example? Are you open
I
to
can
that?
I can feel them touch me.
Say it again?
I can feel them touch me.
Oh, really?
They're very real. I believe they are real. Although people tell me it's an illness, and you know, but I can feel them touch me. They play with me all day and night. You know, basically they say evil never sleeps. Well, I haven't been getting very much rest, and I'm not evil, so
Yeah,
they keep me awake.
You were saying earlier that sometimes you keep your neighbors up.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I do keep my ears up sometimes because the voices will keep me up, and they taunt me. They what is it called? Torment.
Dillon, is there anything you want the people of Seattle to know?
The people of Seattle to know. Yeah. First off, I'd like to thank them all for their hospitality and for all they do, and you know, to contributing to the world and make it a better place and keep it spinning. And to all of them that give and help others, like the homeless, you know, because that's me and a lot of others. That really helps people you know, it keeps us alive with food banks and people and their generosity.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, man. That's heavy stuff. I appreciate you being open and sharing. You know.
Yeah. I'm sorry this isn't. I don't feel like I earned $20.
No, don't be sorry,
Money,
man.
but yeah.
You know, it's your time to be you.
Yeah.
And it's not about me. It's about you and your story, and it's hard. You know.
Yeah.
For somebody who does not struggle with mental illness, it's like I don't really understand that, but I couldn't imagine like feeling that and hearing that.
Yeah.
It just sounds really hard.
It's tough. I already have ADHD or ADD. I'm not sure which of the two, but I have one of them, and I get Adderall and other prescriptions like that. That's why methamphetamine is a big drug for me to take, because it helps me concentrate and stay on top of things and concentrate. But basically with that, and then you add, you know, the voices and the people that aren't there, but they are there. It's hard to, you know, like right now, if I hadn't had some drugs earlier, I wouldn't be able to focus
so it's
as well.
easier for
I
you to
wouldn't have been able
connect
to
and
do
focus.
this at all. So
Yeah.
I'd be out there, you know, following butterflies and stuff.
Interesting. Right. Do you ever catch yourself kind of like,
Yeah.
what
yeah.
am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Tell
Yeah.
me about that.
I asked myself a couple times throughout my life. I did it. It's kind of stopped me dead in my tracks and think to myself, "Are you crazy?" Like, you know, I have to think about that because I wonder, you know. I differ between reality and what's there and what's not, and what's real and what isn't.